Hey everyone, Chris here. I'm recording this on the 18th of September, and as you can probably tell, this is a bit of a different video than the usual match play video. Just going to run through a general update on where things are with me, as well as my future plans for the channel. So first off, you may have noticed that I've been talking in my recent videos about the Club Open tournament, and I had been building up to attempting to go as deep as possible in that. So I played my first match of the tournament on the 20th of July. I recorded my thoughts after the match, and here they are. Hello everyone, it's Chris here. So today I played my Open Tournament singles match, technically second round, albeit with a field of 17. The first round was literally only 2 people, so this was effectively the first round for me and more or less everyone else in the field. So yeah, I've been working quite hard in the last week or so, as I'm sure you've seen on some of the videos that I've published in the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to target so that I'm at peak fitness for my match today. Over the last couple of weeks I've been playing reasonably consistently, mentally strong. I've had a couple of off days in the last week or two, but those days I've effectively felt like I can attribute fairly to fatigue from the previous days that I have been playing. So my plan up to today was to play on the Friday, and then have a day off, and then Sunday I took part in a doubles event, very casual social event, just to sort of hit some balls but not have any real pressure. And then I had another day off yesterday, and then today being effectively my big match for the year. I didn't necessarily know what to expect from today. With Max, I've never seen him play before. I've heard he's very good, but also has a tendency to potentially self-destruct if a few things go against him. And that was kind of my hope for today, is that I could at least get him in a position where he effectively self-destructs. So coming today, I wanted to just make sure that I was at peak fitness. I didn't have any excuses in terms of not having enough energy for the day. Unfortunately, this week has coincided with a bit of a heat wave in the UK, which challenges me a little bit further. Yeah, I'm not normally that great in the heat. I typically prefer more cooler temperatures than what we've had this last week or so, but you can't choose the weather at the end of the day. So I came today with just the attitude of I've been playing well recently. As long as I turn up, I hit the ball with the racket as I want to, as much of my control as I can, trying to take the points where I can as well. Don't overcommit and make silly errors, and ideally just stay mentally focused, stay positive, try and get my serve working, and all the usual stuff that's been working reasonably well recently. So that was my plan going into today. As far as today went, both me and Max turned up, and we started warming up. During the warm-up, I could tell that he was definitely a far higher caliber of player than I was expecting. Definitely someone who I feel it was going to be a tall order to try and take him down. I played pretty well during the warm-up, but it was one of those cases where you could tell unless you pressured him, he wasn't going to necessarily let up too much. And then alongside that, you could tell he had a lot of weapons as well. His top spin forehand absolutely kicking right at the back of the baseline. I could tell going into that it wasn't going to be an easy one. And that's more or less how today went, to be honest. In the end, I did lose the first set 6-love pretty convincingly. I didn't really have any answer at all to his serve throughout all of today, to be honest. I normally consider myself a reasonably alright returner. I sometimes prefer my return games to my service games, but today that was definitely not the case. For return games, it was very much a case I was relying on him making mistakes rather than anything else. Just especially any time that he'd serve to my backhand, it would kick up so high. I had no real control of where the ball was going to go on the return. So that I think breaking him, I realised early on, was going to be my biggest challenge. And then on my own serve, I didn't serve as well as I possibly can. A few double faults here and there. Unfortunately, I felt as though I did have to crank up the serves in order to really stand a chance. But at the same time, if I placed that serve on his forehand and he didn't have to move too much, he was pretty much creaming the returns at me. So it was pretty intense, and I couldn't really do much in the end in that first set. In the end, lost that 6-love we did have a close game at 5-love on his serve, and I did have quite a few break points. I feel that was more one that he could have lost rather than I could necessarily have won. But my attitude was very much, if I can at least win a game off him now, maybe that will unsettle him for the second set. The second set was, thankfully for me, a lot more even. It started off with me holding serve, which was pretty reassuring to actually be up in a set against him. Then he held serve, then he broke me, so that was 2-1 to him. And then I managed to get a loose game out of him as well. At that point, I was strictly of the approach of, it's 2-all. He's had a mental lapse. There's no reason he can't continue to have a mental lapse. So see what I can do from there. Fortunately, I then lost my serve again. And then from that point onwards, the match went on serve. In the end, well, I say it went on serve. He actually broke me in the final game of the second set as well. And in the end, I lost the second set 6-3. So that does mean that I'm out of the Open tournament for this year. Disappointed about the fact that I'm out. On the other hand, I've played as well as I felt as though I could. Mistakes here and there, but to be honest, I could tell he's a calibre of player much above myself. Something that I can hopefully aspire to improve against. Yeah, like I say, he hits a strong ball, and almost a case of the stronger ball that I get back to him, the tougher it's going to be when it comes back at me. So yeah, it was a tricky day, but also a good challenge for me, and it puts in perspective where I currently am with my game, and there's still more than good scope for improvement going forward. Things that I've considered weapons are now against players like him weaknesses. So I feel my ground stroke consistency, my returns, trying to improve on backhands, especially the high backhands. I need to find out a way to deal with those, be it positioning or technique. But yeah, it was a tricky day, but it was a good day. I'm glad I prepared for it, and as I say, he'll go through, and hopefully he does well in the next round. But yeah, that was today. So I've been working quite hard to get to today, and while I am disappointed that this is the end of my Open tournament journey for this year, I've now got the mindset of I've got improvements to make. Since lockdown was lifted for tennis at the end of March this year, I've been pretty much only doing match play. I've not really been doing any hitting, and I feel as though I do need to concentrate a bit more on perhaps getting a bit more coaching in, and a bit more fitness as well, to be honest. I'm not the lightest person in the world, certainly. I've certainly got a few extra pounds, that means my movement is not what it could potentially be. So I'm going to try and lose a bit of the extra mass that I've got at the moment. But that's going to be a long journey. And then also I need to start playing against these heavy balls a lot more, because it's a completely different world to what I'm used to. So I'm going to see about potentially expanding the scope of my opponents. So rest assured, I'll definitely still be uploading match play to the channel in future. But yeah, I think ultimately I've got some work to do over the next year. So I want to try and improve my consistency, improve my heavy ball, improve my defence, start turning my ground strokes into weapons rather than just a case of where I'm hitting the ball back but not necessarily getting much out of that. And perhaps starting to look back into approaching the net a bit more again as well. That was one of the things that was effective today. When I had the opportunity to come forward, I was reasonably effective, so that would be something I would want to look to improve upon in future. So that was today. Like I said, disappointing, but also quite a good experience. So no real complaints. So unfortunately I didn't make it past my first match. Now the finals of the tournament have since taken place, which Max actually made it through to. Overall it was a pretty satisfying tournament experience that I had. And I'm looking forward to next year. Hopefully I can make a bit more of an impact. Now, since that tournament took place, I decided to take a bit of a break because I felt fatigued after what's been quite a long summer for me. I normally play 4 to 5 times a week, 2 hours at a time, so my body was certainly feeling the after effects of that. And then shortly afterwards I fell a little bit ill, which wasn't particularly fun either. So I came back to tennis about 3 weeks after, and proceeded to blow out my knee a little bit. which it's an injury that I've had for a little while, but it started to flare up after my return. Since been to the physio with that, and I've got a minor medial meniscus tear, so at the moment I'm just doing some strength exercises on that to try and build up the muscles. I'm hoping it won't be the sort of thing that will inhibit me too much. Day to day it's not too much of an issue. That was certainly not fun up until about the beginning of this week. So I'll have to see how that goes with me. So that might obviously inhibit my plans to play as much tennis as I've been doing historically. At the moment I've reduced my schedule down to about 3 matches a week, which so far I'm coping out with okay. The movement's not as good as it certainly has been in the past, but it's not too bad. I think the biggest struggle that I have is getting low down to balls that have dropped below my knee height, but hopefully as I strengthen up I can get back to full fitness. So I've not actually recorded any matches since the match with Hugh on the 15th of July. I did actually attempt to record a couple in the past week. Unfortunately, after recording those matches, I identified that actually I didn't have any audio for the matches, which is a bit of a shame. So that's what you've been watching, is my match play from September. As you'll probably tell, I've got my knee brace on, and movement again, it's not too bad, but hopefully that will improve for time. In terms of the future of the channel, I'm still planning on recording some more match play in the upcoming weeks. So at the moment I haven't got any match play footage in my backlog, so I'm completely up to date with everything on that. I do plan on recording some more match play in the upcoming week. In fact, I'm planning on playing tonight with Mark, so that will probably be the next video that's on the channel. Hopefully I'll be uploading a match a week on the weekends, as I've been trying to do as of late. I don't have the best broadband, so uploading match footage, given the fact that I'm recording 4K at 60 frames per second, the video is quite chunky and my broadband is not fibre, so it historically has taken me up to 3 days to actually upload a full match. And then combine that with YouTube occasionally being a bit weird means sometimes those uploads fail and I need to restart them again. I've since come up with a solution that hopefully means I will be able to upload footage a lot quicker, and we'll see if hopefully that will mean that I can maintain that 1 match a week schedule. So that's how things are with myself and the channel. Hopefully I'll might do some doubles matches in the future. Any other ideas that you have for what can be uploaded, I'm all ears. But yeah, that's how things are. So with that, I will bid you adieu, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the future. Take care.